What up, YouTube? You can't stop trading and investing with your boy James E. Tuesday morning. I want to talk about two stocks today. Two stocks I try to capitalize on. One green, one red. It's all part of the game. I want to talk about AABB. The news catalyst that propelled this thing with the cryptocurrency in blockchain and that nature of things. The type of catalyst that propelled this thing to have a big day yesterday, and was able to capitalize on an overnight play with that one. And then I want to talk about UAMM. Had a massive run yesterday, over 300%, and how I tried to dip by that this morning, and it didn't really work out in my favor. I want to get into all that, but before I do, man, please click that like button. Please subscribe. It is very much appreciated. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy that likes to research and analyze anything I find interesting in the stock market, and I like to share that with anybody willing to listen. So, that being said, let's just get right into it, all right? So let's get into AABB. So AABB yesterday had some news come out. As you can see right here, you can see it here. This is old news, but it's been popping off on StockTwits. I went and looked this thing up on StockTwits. Obviously, if you guys know me, you watch my previous videos, I talk about these things. So as you can see, this was a previous runner, from the ones to the 65 cents. And then it's just been kind of just on a downward spiral. And then here we go. Typically, this would be the first green day, but I consider this the first green day because look at this huge spike in volume. This was yesterday. And this is just piggybacking on that news. As you can see right here, you can read it right here. Specifies characteristics of gold-backed cryptocurrency token. And that's the big news catalyst that propelled this thing over the weekend. I just seen it going off on StockTwits. There's so much hype around this thing. So we had this big move. And I actually wanted to buy it here in the 25s. And it just popped and blew past my entry. So that told me it was still looking strong. Towards the end of the day, I winded up purchasing it in the 27s. Roughly around like an average price of 27.3, and this thing gapped up beautifully to the 29s. Had a spike this morning, but as you guys know me, I'm trying to get out 6 to 10% profit. And right at the market open, I was already up over 10% profit, between 10 and 11% profit. Sold it, as you can see here. I made almost $1,900 here in this account. Going to this account, made almost $1,000 in this account on AABB, and then going into here, made over $1,100 on AABB in this account. So overall, almost made about $4 grand on the day. But when I started my position yesterday, I did wind up closing with it down about $134. So made roughly about $3,800, a little more than $3,800 on that position, which is about 11% profit, which was beautiful. Dollar wise, the most I've made on a single trade, which is awesome. Percentage wise, on the higher end of what I'm trying to capitalize on. And again, man, the key things for this one and why I decided, why did I decide to play this? Why did I think it'd be a good overnight play? First of all, the chart, this huge spike in volume always is a telltale. After a long dried out run, and then as you can see, we had consolidation. And then finally, this huge candle pop. So anytime I see this, and I talk about it in previous videos on different chart patterns, it's OTC markets. I talk about this. Typically, when you see a huge spike in volume and a green day after a bunch of red, we typically have a gap up or a run the second day. This would have been an amazing dip buy opportunity. I should have actually just waited and watched this one. I winded up seeing opportunity in UAMM and kind of jumped the gun a little bit, and it bit me in the ass, and we're going to talk about that as well. So this, first I seen this, and then so again, I did a little due diligence, a little research, and it was popping off on StockTwits where, everyone's talking about this gold-backed cryptocurrency token. And right now, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, blockchain, that type of stuff is hot still, and so now we might be getting a ramp up again. And, so that's exactly what happened today. And I was able to capitalize beautifully on it. Anytime I make more than 10%, it's a beautiful day. Again, man, was able to capitalize about $3,800 on this particular play. Now, Okay, yeah. So yeah, that's exactly why. So first, seen a spike in volume. First, I consider this typically the first green day because of this huge spike in volume. That was the one sign why I wanted to trade this thing. Also, in the chart pattern, when you see a spike like this and then it drop down and then start curling, that tells me also on the intraday that this is going to pop. This is going to pop in the morning, and it did. It popped up to the 34s. It popped up to almost 32 before we had the pullback to the 27, and then a pop to the 34s. But that's exactly, I want to see this too. I want to see a big spike in the morning, a little fade off, and then a curl action. Or sometimes, just depending, I want to see a huge spike and then a huge drop off, because that could also give you a nice spike in the morning. But yeah, this is something I like to see when it starts picking up towards the end. As you can see, it kind of died off until about 20 minutes before the close. Then we had that perk, and then it started popping. So I like to see that in the intraday. I like to see this on the daily, a huge spike in volume, first green day, and then some kind of news catalyst that could propel it. And then I want to see huge volume. So as you can see right here, yesterday we traded almost 200 million shares, which is awesome. And it's way over the volume that has been trading, as you can see. The volume was just fading off since this day right here. Fade, pop, big pop. So yeah, those are things I like to see that make me want to trade this thing. And then again, if it didn't work, I would have just cut my losses. It's no big deal. Which leads me to right here, UAMM. So this one was a huge runner yesterday, a 300% runner. Let me change this to UMM2 real quick. Boom. So as you can see, man, this is a 300% runner. This was huge, man. It was right here in the 3 cents, closing the 3 cents the previous day, and then spiked all the way up to the 13s. A nice, huge runner, as you can see here in the chart pattern. Just gradually climb, consolidated climb. And now it's dropping off. So this morning, I seen this drop off, and I tried to capture it. Let's go into the other chart. As you can see right here, I took a 128 loss right here. And then in the other chart, I took wrong one. In the other one, I took a 528. So that one was the first trade that I took. And I did wind up taking a smaller position. Again, man, that's something you might want to think about, when you're trading things that you're not fully certain about. Like I haven't really had time to evaluate how this stock bounces, because if you look at the chart, there's really not much, so I didn't know where the bottom was going to be. I didn't know how much percentage it would drop. Because there's really nothing I could really see. So I kind of just had to go with my feeling and my gut feeling. So when it dropped here down to the 10s, from the opening price, we're talking a 34% drop, which is big to right here. So when I seen this green candle come in, that's where I got in. I got in around 11.4, and then boom, instantly tanked. And winded up taking a penny loss, a little over a penny loss, which was actually about a 10% loss on my position, which is why I took a small position. It was about a $5,500 position. The very reason why I took a smaller position than usual, because when they're tanking like this, you never know where the bottom is going to be. So I winded up taking this one right here and taking a huge loss percentage-wise on my position. But again, I scaled down. Usually I'll trade with a, if I'm confident about something, I'll trade with, $25,000 to $35,000 position. If I'm not confident, or if I say, okay, I'm going to test this move, because you have to understand as well, I just made roughly almost $4,000 off of AABB. So that gives me wiggle room for the day. That gives me, where I could take a little more risk. So, I just said, you know what, I'm going to try to attempt this, because if it works, it's going to be great. If it doesn't, I'll take a loss. So that's what I did. So minus $528. I actually tried to get out when I was down about $200, which was roughly about a 4% loss. But it just didn't execute. I hit the sell the market, and it didn't sell me until it started bottoming out. So, and that happens, and that's okay, because I took smaller size. And then And then right here, I tried to buy it back in here. So now I'm starting to see, okay, this is solidifying a bottom for me. So I thought we could get that bounce back up to the teens. So I bought it in this candle here in the tens. And then it just, as soon as I bought it, it started going red. So I was like, you know what? That just tells me I need to get away from this thing. It's not working for me how I want it to. So sold it, took another $128 loss. So roughly took about $650 loss on UAMM, which is fine. I'm okay with that. Again, normally when I make, like I did this morning, made a beautiful 11%. Part of my rule is just to walk away. But I seen an opportunity, and and it was crazy because I told myself as soon as I made that money from AABB, as soon as I made that beautiful profit, I told myself just close the lab. But I started seeing this tank right away, and and when I started seeing this bouncing here, I just said fuck it. I was like fuck it. If it works, I'm gonna make add maybe another 1,000. But if it doesn't, I'll just cut my loss. No big deal. And that's what I did. And then I instantly regretted it as soon as I did. And then I don't know if you guys study trader psychology, but I study trader psychology. I went in revenge mode here. So after I took this 500 loss, I told myself, okay, just close the lab. You're done. But then when I seen it start bouncing here, I said, okay, well now it's looking like 1, 2, 3, 4 green candles. This thing could pop. And so I bought it even smaller because this, as you can see, I bought 33,000 shares right here for this one too, UAAM. But in the other one I had bought 50. So I bought 50 here, lost 500, and then I said, okay, I'm gonna go even smaller size, but if it works, I'll gain that 500 back. And it didn't work, and it wound up costing me another 128 because I kind of went in revenge trading at that point. I said, damn it, I wanted it to work, it didn't work, and now I'm seeing it bounce here. So now it should work, and it didn't work, and it just kept dropping off since. But now it's looking like it's having a nice base here. So it's still in play for me, and it's still in play. So I'm gonna make sure I continue to watch this thing, and if it does when I want it to now, then I might try to capitalize on it. Same thing with AABB. If that starts doing what I want to, I'm going to capitalize. But now we're having multiple green days, so I'm kind of just want to stay away from it until I see some red. That's just me personally, because that's the way I like to trade these. It's now a little overextended for my taste personally, so I don't want to go and chase this thing thinking it's going to keep popping. I'm going to wait for a pullback to see what it can do. And then UAMM is having that nice pullback and now consolidating, looking like it's finding a base in the 8s. So it may be another potential buy. So overall on the day, roughly winded up with about $3,200 profit on the day. Still things are in play for me. I'm going to close my lab for now, do this video, and see if any other opportunities presents itself. But yeah, man, so UAMM just wanted to bite me in the ass. Shouldn't have taken this trade, but like I just jumped the gun on the first one. Didn't work. And then because usually I want to see 2 greens before I buy, and then I seen it here and I just said, oh cool, it looks like it could just pop, have a nice pop, and it didn't work and it just dropped off. So sold to cut my losses, man. So minus 650 there. But overall, like I said, over $3,200 profit on the day, and I'm cool with that. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of my analysis. Again, if you made it this far, please click that like button. Please subscribe. You can't stop Mafia. It's a mindset movement. Meaning never stop yourself, never stop your progress, never stop your education, especially in finance. Having multiple streams of income is an amazing thing, and the stock market is a place where you can do that. AABB, a beautiful 11% profit. Had my biggest dollar gain of the year so far, with over $3,800. And then UAMM tried to dip by it, but kind of jumped the gun and then try to revenge trade it for another smaller loss. So I winded up minus 650 on that. So I'll be sure to keep you updated as much as possible. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.